shortly. All the P1 students kindly occupy the front seats. Please do not settle at the back.
Hello, everyone. We request everyone to settle down quickly. We'll be starting very shortly. Good evening to one and all present here. Esteemed dignitaries, respected professors, fellow students, and parents. It is with utmost privilege that I, Vidhi Singh, along with my co-host Ishika Sharma, welcomes the fourth batch of PhD and 10th batch of MBA students to Indian Institute of Management, Nagpur.
Now, we would like to invite all the dignitaries to please come on the stage. To begin on an auspicious note, we would like to call upon our esteemed dignitaries to light the lamp.
कुन्देन्दु तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रामृता या वीणावर दण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेष जाड्यापहा.
Now, I would like to request our director, Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, to present a bouquet and a memento to our chief guest, Mr. Kamal Bali. Now, I request our director to present a bouquet and a memento to our guest of honor, Dr. Rajesh Dighde.
Commencing the session with the immense gratitude, we at IIM Nagpur strongly believe in creating a sustainable environment. Thus, it is a tradition to present our guest with a unique living and breathing gift that reflects our ethos. In the name of our esteemed dignitaries, Mr. Kamal Bali and Dr. Rajesh Dighde, trees have been planted on the periphery of the Simplipal forest in West Bengal as the part of Trees for Tigers program. The certificates will be mailed to you shortly, sir.
Now, we would like to call upon stage Professor Prakash Avasthi, Chairperson MBA at IIM Nagpur, to welcome the batch.
Good evening, everyone. Our chief guest for the day, Mr. Kamal Bali, MD and President, Volvo Group in India. Guest of honor, Dr. Rajesh Dighde, Partner Director of Engineering, Mixed Reality Display Meta Platform. Our Director, Dr. Maitri, Dean, Professor Prashant Gupta, my faculty and staff colleagues, students of the incoming batch of PhD and MBA programs, their parents, family, and all the dignitaries present here. It gives me immense pleasure in welcoming the 4th batch of PhD students and the 10th batch of MBA students here at IIM Nagpur. This day, today on 14th of July 2024, all of you are embarking on a journey that has a potential to transform your life in ways that are beyond our imagination, beyond the limits of our imagination. The limiting factor is you, the way you are able to use the kind of opportunities, the kind of platform, the kind of various, whether through coursework or through out of class activities, the opportunities that will be provided to you. It is there with you. The way you use it, the way you not use it is up to you, right? The program is not going to be an easy one. Every now and then we'll come and ask, challenge, and test the limits of what you can do. Again, as I have mentioned earlier, it's in your hand. You have made it to this place. While I would like to congratulate, all of us would like to congratulate that you are here with us. I would also like to emphasize that the journey has just begun, right? With this, I would once again welcome all of you, congratulate all of you to be the part of IIM Nagpur community. I look forward to not just one, various longer discussion with all of you. And we are going to have many such discussions, starting with brief discussion tomorrow. And there is a session which is planned on 18th, where Professor Prashant and I will meet you for a detailed discussion. Till then, keep on looking at the schedule which is given to you. I'm sure all of you have got it. Stick to that. Many of you are going to be there on ground 7:30 a.m. If you don't know you are the ones, please cross-check, look at your emails. Some of you are going to be there for simulation at 9 o'clock. Keep an eye on that, because if you're not there, as I have mentioned, we'll be giving you a little bit of challenge in terms of what we expect and what you do, right? So with that, once again, I welcome all of you and congratulate you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Now, I would like to call upon Professor Prashant Gupta, Dean of Faculty Academics and Alumni Affairs, to give the program overview to our upcoming PhD and MBA batch.
Good evening, Honorable Chief Guest Shri Kamal Bali ji, Dr. Rajesh ji, our Director Professor Maitri, my colleague and MBA Chairperson Professor Prakash, all my faculty colleagues and staff colleagues present here, all the senior batch student, I would say, because the new batch is joining, so they are migrated from first year to second year. All the newcomers, parents, on behalf of the Institute, I welcome you all. You all are starting a new journey which will bring a lot of challenges. It will inspire you. It will transform you. It is going to be path-breaking for you. You all are here to devote your 2 years, precious 2 years, to make your career. And I'm 100% sure the program, what is designed here, will definitely help you. Details of the program we will be discussing separately, as Professor Prakash mentioned. But for MBA, in a very short, if I say, so before going for the program requirement, there's a very small one, details later. But if you trace back the history of MBA programs, the oldest business school was ESCP 1819. And since then, the business education started, but formal 2-year MBA degree, 1908, Harvard Business School started. If you look at in India, can you guess the oldest B school? It's XLRI 1949. But MBA degree was started by institute in Kolkata that's named IISWBM. They started the MBA degree. XLRI started industrial management degree. And since then, 60s, 61, IIM Ahmedabad, then Kolkata, then Bangalore, and now you all are here. So there's a series going on. If you look at the program description, all programs, they're designed to equip, to take on the challenges of industry, what's going to happen in future. So not only we need to update our syllabus in close interaction, connection with industry, but you also need to update yourself. So when I look for you, I think you all are smart leaders and you will be smart leaders. And when I say smart leaders, there are certain qualities that I that I believe and that I think that should be in any manager who is coming out. So when I say smart leaders, is smart, S is strategic thinking, M for motivation, A for adaptability. You need to, because this is also one very important quality. R for resilience and T for teamwork. You are here and a lot of group work will be there. So working in a team is also an important quality. Leader, you will become later. So when I start with leader, so first obviously L for leadership. But when I say E, that is ethics. Ethical leadership is very important. A, analytical skills. You cannot survive if you don't have analytical skills. That is the quality that everyone must inculcate. And here, the D, what I look for personally as a dean academics is discipline. That is also one important thing that every one of you must have. And we will be hammering you on that, reminding you on that. E is for empathy. When you are here, you should take care of each other. Empathize. Only sympathy does not work. R for resourcefulness. You should have that quality. If crisis, out of available resources, how will you manage? Instead of complaining, can you work out and find out certain solutions? So that is also one important quality I look for. And S for sustainability. Everything, if what we are doing today is not sustainable for the next generations, there's no point. So you need to practice daily these things. As a beginner, when you're starting your journey, set your goal, set your targets. And I repeatedly say, and many times you might have heard, another thing that you need to develop is the quality of networking. In today's world, your network is your net worth. And at last, should be ready for continuous learning. As far as the program is concerned, as I said, we'll discuss in detail, but first year, we have credits and each credit is of 10 hours. The first year, you will be having core courses of 57 credits. Second year is for electives where you would be picking and choosing your electives. So there we have 40 to 42 credits courses that you will be covering. So in all, these are the total courses you will be doing in 2 years. In between, after first year, there will be a 6 to 8 weeks summer internship where you would be going and working with industry. So overall structure is this. Rest we'll discuss later. So before closing, I once again welcome you all. And I'm 100% sure that this 2 years journey will be truly transforming for you all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Now, I would like to introduce Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, Director of IIM Nagpur, a distinguished scholar, renowned teacher, researcher, and an astute administrator. An outstanding begin the proceedings today by inviting our esteemed director, Dr. Bhimrai Maitri, to deliver the welcome address.
Very good evening, respected Kamal Bali ji, President, Managing Director, Volvo India, a great visionary and my good friend. Rajesh Dighde, the Senior Director, Meta, Seattle, USA. He is a son of the soil. He is from Nagpur. My faculty colleagues, Dean, Professor Prashant Gupta, MBA Program Chairperson, Professor Prakash Avasti, Chairperson PhD, Professor Satish, Chairperson Admission, whom you are all in touch with, maybe a month or two, Professor Rakesh Gupta, all my faculty colleagues, distinguished parents, and my dear students and media persons. First of all, I join my colleagues welcoming the new batch to IIM Nagpur, and also hearty congratulations to all of you for selecting IIM Nagpur as your destination to create yourself in new avatar. As you know, IIM Nagpur started 2015. Now it is a 10th batch. First batch was 2015, and this is the 10th batch. But 15, we started a small beginning of 55 students. And today, we have grown manifold from 55 to 360. And IIM Nagpur started 15 in a small building of PNIT, and from there, IIM Nagpur is the first in new generation to move to the new campus in shortest possible time in the history of IIMs. If you count from IIM Kolkata first to till now, this is the shortest period any IIM completed its construction and moved to the new campus. And this is the benchmark campus for all IIMs, a first of its kind and best of its kind. And as Professor Prashant rightly said, you are all smart people and this is a smart campus. And when two smarts come together, what can happen, you can imagine. And IIM Nagpur, along with the MBA program, we have started PhD program today. The fourth batch of PhD program is also a part of the inauguration. And we have Executive MBA Pune campus and Executive MBA Nagpur campus. Those two programs are also, we are running here. IIM Nagpur, even though it is just a 9-year-old and 10th batch we are inaugurating today, but in a shortest span, IIM Nagpur has set many benchmarks to different business schools and IIMs. IIM Nagpur is the first one to, as I told you, as far as infrastructure is concerned, IIM Nagpur has acted as a magnet for many IIMs and IITs to visit for their expansion. And apart from IIM, IIT, also many government authorities, they come and visit IIMs, and Government of India also provided this opportunity to CBSE school principals. They should see world-class institution. They have chosen IIM Nagpur for that. Just 2 days back, 11 and I think 12 and 13, 2 days CBSE principals were there from almost every state of the country. IIM Nagpur also set benchmark in the area of executive education. Today, IIM Nagpur's Executive Education has made many benchmarks. Just to give the example, cyber security program, IIM Nagpur is the first one in the country till today to start the cyber security PG certificate program. And the first program we started with FedEx Institute of Technology, and now second program we are on our own. IIM Nagpur also started the first of its kind blockchain program with Copenhagen Business School, and now we are running on our own. And IIM Nagpur is the first one to do ESG leadership program for Coal India. It is a need of an hour net zero and SDG 17 goals. And a government of India's vision, keeping in mind, we were the first one to start, and we are doing another set of program like that. And IIM Nagpur, in a shortest span of less than 3 years, we are running 25 variety of programs, whether it is a healthcare, whether it is cyber security, data science, marketing, strategy, project management, data analytics, to name a few. And also IIM Nagpur conducts short-term program for many private and public sector companies. To name a few, we do the program for Lupin, a pharma company senior management. We do a program for Tata. We conduct the program for Larsen and Toubro. We carry out number of programs for Navali Lignite, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation, IOCL, WCL, MECL and MOIL, Coal India, and many such companies. We also carry out number of consultancy assignments with the government as well as the public sector organizations. And apart from this, IIM Nagpur also involved thickly into schemes of the government of India and state government. IIM Nagpur is the first one to do in the country a program called Chief Minister Fellowship Program with government of Maharashtra. And each fellow used to get 75,000 rupees, and they support the policy area in the various department of government of India. And we did that program, just finished, and another program yet to come. We also partnered with Ministry of Skill and Entrepreneurship Development for the Mahatma Gandhi National Fellowship Program under the scheme of Sankalp project of World Bank. They identified 9 IIMs, and IIM Nagpur was one amongst the 9. And successfully, we delivered the program for Government of Maharashtra and Government of Sikkim under the Sankalp project of Mahatma Gandhi Fellowship Program. IIM Nagpur also conducts large number of programs in the area of NGOs, because many NGOs, those who selflessly work for the societal improvement and social entrepreneurship area, we very closely with such NGOs. And every year in the month of December, normally second week, we conduct a global NGO summit with Nagpur first. Every year we conduct, and their products are displayed, almost about 150 stalls, and their products are displayed here at campus, and large number of people come and visit and buy some of the products and establish their network. IIM Nagpur also, comparing to many business schools, being a center point of India, as Britishers recognized as a 0 mile, and today it is a center point of India. And because of that, connectivity is extremely good by road, rail, and air. And therefore, a strong corporate connect is possible because of connectivity. Of course, because of IIM Nagpur and people like bright students like you, plus the connectivity is one of the important aspects. By flight, 80 minutes are good enough to any metro to connect. And by rail, overnight journey is good enough to any corner of the corporate city where the companies exist. They are all connected just overnight. So therefore, senior executives, they come for summer and final placement because of accessibility. And you all know that airport to IIM Nagpur, up to 21 IIM, this is the closest. 10 minutes are good enough to reach the campus from airport. And IIM Nagpur also has, the city Nagpur this has large number of doctors per 1,000 people. So when it comes to, it is a capital of doctors, and also Nagpur is surrounded by Tadoba and also Pench, this forest, and the ample oxygen is available, plus clean and neat environment and healthy body, healthy mind is extremely important for Fit India program. People like you to build the new India. So this is the best context for studying. And this campus, as all of you know, it is not only inspiring ecosystem you find, and 132-acre less green campus, it also received the green certification. As Prashant was talking about sustainability, we received the green building certification. So great ecosystem for learning and lifelong learning. IIM Nagpur today, we have earned the reputation as a fastest growing business school amongst the IIM. And whatever I just now I told, this, the two important reason, one is the most important one is intellectual capital. If you go to the website and you see the faculty member, best of the best faculty we attracted, and IIM Nagpur acted as a magnet to attract the best of the best faculty from different part of the country. And that is the one reason. And second one is we have reasonably good senior faculty at our campus. And because of that, IIM Nagpur established itself as a holistic business school. Holistic business school means teaching, training, research, and consultancy. So for teach the MBA students, faculty member, those who do great research, those who do consultancy assignment, those who carry out the training programs, while doing that, they also learn from the other side. Not only they disseminate the knowledge, but whatever the knowledge through training the people like Lupin and Tata and even HPCL, we gain a knowledge, and doing consultancy, a lot of insights and trend of the company will come to know. And that knowledge, my faculty colleague pump back to the classrooms for the first year and second year students, because it is not only a bookish knowledge or theoretical knowledge, because even though book is published in 2024, but the content definitely it is before 2022, because publication and marketing, it takes at least a year or two. So therefore, industry trend and what is happening and connecting with the recent trends, that all happens because of the faculty member teaches in other areas, training, research, consultancy. That association helps back, and rarest of rare schools get into all the four, and IIM Nagpur is one among them, to build the capability among the students, because today a skill has a self-life. When skill has a self-life, the competence alone is not good enough. Maybe our time, knowledge, we used to go to the college for knowledge, but today knowledge and competence alone is not good enough. You have to build the capability, and for capability, experiential learning is extremely important. And therefore, this holistic business school and our faculty colleague engaging all the four areas, that helps to prepare each one of you as a change masters to lead the unknown roles in unborn companies. And that is a need of an hour. And for that, IIM Nagpur is always ready, because we are into a holistic business school. And IIM Nagpur, I initiated a first of its kind course in the country that is called PMP, Professional Management Program. So PMP course, basically, what are the qualities of good manager and how to acquire the skills where each one of you are weak or medium. Apart from some areas you might be strong, some areas you may be medium, some areas you may not be good. How to build those capabilities of managerial qualities. We have 60 plus senior industry mentors. They do the e-mentoring. So 4 or 5 students, one senior mentor from the corporate world, companies like L&T, Tata, and all the big companies, Lupin, all such senior people, GM and above, not less than that, they all come and they will mentor electronically. And 2 days in a year they visit, normally December end or January, and they physically meet the each and every student and they discuss. And this program basically help the students, even though they are studying in the academic halls, but they understand the ground realities of the corporate world and they listen from the horse's mouth. And apart from this course also, there is a visit to a rural India. We call it as a Bharat Darshan program because unless until you see both the sides of the coin, urban and rural, you cannot be a great decision maker. So that immersion is also going to play a very, very important role. Many things probably which you are not seen after going there, you see the ground reality, and that will help you to become a great decision maker. And IIM Nagpur also introduced some of the unique courses called Science of Happiness. In today's world, happiness is important. We also introduced a course called Indian Ethos and Business Ethics. That course is extremely important. Of course, that is a mandatory course. When 2018 government appointed a committee for the MBA curriculum, I was heading the committee. We introduced compulsory course Indian Ethos and Business Ethics, and as a part of National Education Policy, that course is also here at IIM Nagpur. So this campus is full of vibrations and lot of learning ecosystem. And probably this is the campus, as it is mentioned in National Education Policy 2020, learning to learn in real sense, you may realize here at IIM Nagpur, because there are n number of possibilities, opportunities to learn. Even if you stand in the mess building and if you just see on the wall, you can discover Nagpur in 2 minutes in your mess building. What are the key things at Nagpur, whether it is a Chitinui Center, whether it is a heritage building of Reserve Bank of India, whether it is mining or airport, where they are located, and what are the key highlights. Within no time, you can make out, even though you might have come from almost every state representation is here in your class. But within no time, you can discover the Nagpur, because anywhere, everywhere you go, there is a learning. So how to make use of this 2-year opportunity for learning, for standing out from the crowd and to create yourself in new avatar. Today we are entered as an input, but after 2 years, you are going out of the campus in new avatar. So I wish you all the best. Good luck. And we are lucky to have today 2 great visionary leaders. Kamal Bali ji is a transformation leader. He's a known transformation leader wherever he has worked. And I know companies like Escort, he worked, and companies like Volvo, he's transforming in big way as well his company. And Rajesh works for Meta company. All of you know, creative company. It is a Meta company, Facebook and Instagram, all those new age companies. He's working as a senior director, Seattle based. So these 2 leaders, I'm sure they will provide a lot of insights and also their guidance and direction in today's their inaugural speech. I'm sure each one of us will gain a lot. And we are lucky to have both of them here today. And I thank Bali Saab and Rajesh ji for accepting our invitation. And once again, my hearty congratulations to all the students in coming batch and their parents taking decision to join IIM Nagpur. And wish you all the best and good luck. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging and insightful words. Now, I would like to introduce our guest of honor, Dr. Rajesh Dighde, a distinguished leader in technology and product innovation, boasting over 20 years of experience. His expertise lies in the development of groundbreaking technologies across VR headsets, consumer electronics, optoelectronics, and biomedical devices. Dr. Rajesh Dighde has led global teams in designing and delivering flagship products such as Meta Quest VR headsets and Microsoft Surface devices, showcasing his profound impact on shaping the future of mixed reality and consumer electronics. Sir, kindly address the gathering.
Slides number. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'm very, very excited to be here for multiple reasons. One is that, first of all, this is the first time I've seen a gathering of this size listening to me. Okay. So actually, I have a funny story. I had two daughters, both of them are working. And I believe that I learned a lot in my life, working at different companies and such. And I want to share something with them, but they don't want to listen, right? But here, I got like 200 or 350 students who are captive for the next, 1 hour or so. So, you don't have any escape. I'm going to try to make it a little bit fun. Actually, thanks to Dr. Maitri, that I get this opportunity. And I can't say enough about Dr. Maitri, even though I met him only like 3 times so far. But I think you have come to the right place. Sorry. You have come to the right place. All right, can you hear me? Cool. So the reason I'm saying is you come to the right place is, first of all, this campus is fantastic. I don't think I have seen a building of this kind even in US, right? And it's really mind-boggling campus. And I saw the offices, the hostel, the buildings there is just super. Facilities are excellent, right? But it's not just the buildings that make somebody's career or life, professional life, and such. It's also the guidance and the vision that your director has set up, which actually matters. So whenever I talk to Dr. Maitri, I get very inspired by, okay, there is somebody who actually has a clear vision of where he wants to take IIM Nagpur to. And not only that, but he's actually doing it. I met him twice, both of them on Saturdays at 3 o'clock, and he spent about 1.5 hours with me. Now I was wondering, who works on Saturdays in India, in government institutions or whatever, right? So he definitely has proved me wrong. But what that tells me also is that he's actually very committed and very, very passionate about taking this school to greater heights. Okay. So when he asked me to, can I spend some time sharing what I learned in my life about working at different places? It's like, why not? Okay. So I will try to kind of guide you through as to my journey. By the way, this is my personal journey. This is not going to be applicable to you. You will definitely do wonderful things. You're starting at you're actually a great stage that you're starting from. You will accomplish a lot more. And you have to basically, you have to take the advantage of the facilities, all the knowledge and power that resides in this institute. Okay, with that, let me kind of turn on the slideshow. Right. Is it okay? Oh, cool. Sorry, I can't see it. So before I start, I want to ask some questions. Does anybody know what the first picture is of? Okay, so that was my first job. Okay, building those cranes at the Navasheva Port Trust. So I was an engineer doing how to basically build those tall conveyor structure. They're called grab unloaders. You unload stuff from the ship, put it in the containers and all that. And now I'm doing this stuff here. Does anybody know what the second picture is? Yeah, so good. I'm very happy that I'm working for Meta. People know what I'm doing, which is great, right? So these are the AR glasses that actually are going to help us communicate, interact with artificial intelligence embedded in there. It has a camera that basically will look at what I'm looking at. It will basically use AI to provide me feedback as to what I'm seeing and basically provide some commentary. So if I go to China, which I was there about 2 weeks ago, I can use these glasses. I can look at a Chinese menu. I'm vegetarian. I can look at the restaurant menu. And it can basically translate it for me, Marathi or Hindi or English. So which is fantastic. So basically, how do you go from building cranes to AR, VR, right? And I think it's not because I'm really super smart. I will be very, very honest with you. I was an average student. And I actually flunked a couple of classes too. So sorry to say that. I was told not to say it, but I just want to be very, very honest with you. So basically, our story is going to be about building cranes to metaverse and AI. So, yeah. All right, so any journey starts with small steps, as you know. This is going into activity. Okay. So I started my undergrad from VNIT. I did my undergrad from VNIT in metallurgy, which is about 10 miles from here. I did metallurgy of all subjects because that was the thing I could get into. I didn't have the top marks to get into mechanical. But sometimes it is actually destiny, or whatever happens for good. Because I probably did a lot of wonderful things in my life because of the opportunities I got as a metallurgist, as a metal scientist. So it just also depends on what you can make out of those opportunities that come your way. So I think that will be the narrative that I will basically provide through that one. Okay. I did my master's from IIT Madras, and I was also doing metal science there. After that, I did some stint at L&T, Larsen & Toubro. And I think both Mr. Kamal and Dr. Maitri had some association with L&T as well. I think I did about 8-9 months there. It was a great job. I had to go to work. Didn't have to do anything. Have breakfast, have lunch. And some people used to take nap there. I was like, oh, this is not what I'm going to do in my life, right? So after that, I said, I need to prepare to do something else. And I got interested in research. And what I thought is, okay, let me basically pursue my studies. I want to do PhD. And so I actually just went for a GRE exam and I flunked. I mean, I had the worst score ever. And if you are taking GRE exam, it says the first time you have terrible scores, I think don't even try. So like, okay, no, I'm going to try. And I really quit the job. And I basically sat at home in Nagpur and basically went through all the Barron's GRE preparation, Arco's GRE preparation, getting the word, all the vocabulary and all that stuff kind of squared away. And I was able to get through that, and I went to get my PhD from Oregon Health Sciences Institute in US. And that also is material science, but that was something that was very interesting. In US, you go there, they will basically say, okay, this is your PhD, this is your headache, you do it, don't bother me. And that basically means that you get a lot of freedom. I got a lot of freedom to do whatever I wanted to pursue. And one thing I would like to highlight to you is that you probably are going to get a lot of freedom and opportunities here. And it's up to you to figure out how do you take the advantage of that. Whether it is learning about something very esoteric, something very commonplace, learning Python programming, for example. You must say, why should I learn that? But it might actually help you. So think about what are the things that are around you, because this institute has so many courses, so many areas of interest. I mean, I heard about cybersecurity, blockchain. I mean, why would you go anywhere else? Just come up, attend some of those courses. You will learn about that very easily, right? So make the most of your opportunities is what I would like to highlight. Anyway, after that, I started by professional career, as I said. This was L&T before I went to US. And then I was at a couple of companies called Tektronix. Anyway, typically people will say this journey is fantastic and I did all these great things. I will tell you, my journey was up and down. And there are a lot of factors that you will be able to control, but there are a lot of factors that you will not be able to control, right? And so you have to be aware of that. And you have to figure out, well, how do I navigate through all the ambiguities and other uncertainty of life and business and economy, right? So, which is what I want to share today. It's like, hey, life is going to be straightforward for you. You're not, you may get perfect score in school here, may get a great job at a great company. It doesn't mean that you are aced it. It doesn't mean that you have made it. Because things will change. Things are not static. And that's what I would like to talk about. This is a place called Lucid Technologies. Most of the people haven't heard of this company, but this used to be a company called AT&T, American Telegraph and Telephones, a 100-year-old company. This was a spin-off of that. This was Bell Labs, topmost innovative companies that you could get into, right? This company is no longer there. I actually worked there for 2 years. Not because of me, they disappeared, but they failed to see what is happening around them, right? And so you have to be also looking into that, like, hey, how do I actually navigate through what is happening out there? This AI, you probably will discuss AI a lot. You're probably reading AI from morning till evening, right? And what does that mean to you? How are you going to shape your career to be successful in this new paradigm? So this is something that this company did so well. They used to have 6,000 patents per year filings, okay? They invented a transistor. They invented some of the fiber optical communication, which all used daily, right? And they disappeared. Of course, I lost a lot of money on the stock. That is a separate story. But then I went to Cisco. Cisco was one of the topmost companies once upon a time. No longer exists, right? I mean, sorry, it exists, but it doesn't have the top position anymore as it's. I think after doing a lot of this work, I was like, hey, these companies are like really not really great companies. I've been spending a lot of my time, effort. I need to go to the best company possible. And I think Microsoft was one of the companies. And I kind of tried it there. I said, like, how can I fit in there? I'm a metallurgist. This company is so different. What can I do? What I realized is that what I learned in all of the previous from school, from different companies, is really basically made me prepared me for going to Microsoft. And I was fairly successful in Microsoft because, first of all, I was a hardware engineer. Microsoft is a software company. So basically, I had the carte blanche. I could say anything, and they had to listen to me because I knew the most out of them. But this was a very, very good gig for me. I was there for like 15 years. And about 3 years, I said, you know what? I think I'm about to retire. I can continue to retire at Microsoft, but it's like, I need to know about what is happening in metaverse. What is metaverse all about? What is AI all about? What is AR, VR? And at the age of 58, I made a change to a different career, right? To a different company. So again, this is because I was curious to know what's happening. And my suggestion here will be, yeah, you need to be curious as to what's happening. You can't be doing something that is relevant today, but irrelevant tomorrow, right? So this is and a couple of slides here. I will also show the same thing here. So this is the market cap picture of different companies over the last 20 years. I think some of you are not even born there, I'm thinking, right? Yeah. So anyway, topmost company is called GE. Okay, General Electric, 125-year-old institution. That was the number one company. ExxonMobil was the second company. Third one was Microsoft. Okay, but the rest of the companies were all, some kind of pharmaceuticals, and some of them were oil companies. IBM is kind of low there on that as well, down the line. What happens 10 years later? Apple takes over. They launched the iPhone. Where is GE? Do you see GE here? It's not there. Do you see IBM? They are there, but they are not a top 10, 20 companies, right? They are gone behind, and some other companies are taken over. You see a lot of Chinese companies there, right? Same thing happens in 2020. Okay, Apple, Aramco, Microsoft, Google, and all these companies, tech companies are taking over now, right? And what you see now is Microsoft, Apple, NVIDIA are fighting for the top spot. NVIDIA was there. You did not see NVIDIA in any of the three slides, right? So suddenly trend has changed. So the message I want to deliver here is life is not static. Economy is not static. Business is not static. Industry is not static. There are trends. The market shifts. How do you keep yourself up to date is super important. So don't say that I did MBA from top school like I am, and I did this and that, and I was a top student in the class at the best grades. That is going to be your downfall because there's so much more to learn. So you have to think about, hey, what is happening tomorrow? Is this relevant tomorrow? Am I going to be doing accounting when AI is going to take over most of the stuff? And I do something else? Can I use AI to do accounting better? So you have to be constantly morphing yourself into those areas and kind of add those skills to your arsenal. Okay. See. Okay. I just wanted to flash these companies. They are gone, disappeared. Okay. They used to be big companies once upon a time, but they are disappeared. And there's a company called Lucent. I kind of mentioned I was working there. That disappeared too. So why those companies disappear? Because there are a lot of different factors. New markets, typically new markets happen. You get new markets, people are failing to realize that. You have boom, like .com boom, 2000. In 2000, every company was going basically gangbusters. So, there's a lot of people made a lot of money. In 2001, they lost all of it, right? So you got a burst right after that. You have market shifts. You saw GE, topmost company. Jack Welch was the best business leader ever. People don't like it anymore because of what he did to GE and what he did to the business, the management and consultancy aspects of it as well. Uncertainty. So this is probably one of the most important things that you need to think about, right? Nothing is certain. Nothing is given. Nothing is guaranteed. And so how do you actually how do you stay ahead of it? How do you embrace this? And I think if you look at Microsoft, actually when I was at Microsoft, we had to teach all the employees how to deal with ambiguity and uncertainty. Because the market is so dynamic. It's shifting every day. You got new competition. You got new threats. You got new regulations coming into it. And you can't be static and saying, yeah, this is what I should do. I should sell Windows licenses. That's what happened to Microsoft. Microsoft was static for 10 years, since 2000 to about 2000, maybe 12 years, until 2013 or 14, until Satya Nadella came and changed the direction of the company, right? So you have to be kind of looking at some of these aspects of the geopolitics. A lot of companies were impacted by the tsunami that happened in 2007, also the earthquake in 2011 in Japan. And so these things, also the political issues with what's happening in Middle East, they actually matter. So some of these things are quite not in your control. In fact, when I did my PhD, I could not find a job for 2 years, along with 25 of my other PhD students. Fortunately, the school gave us a postdoc opportunity, and that's why we were able to manage to survive. And competition, of course, right? So one takeaway from this is, so do you know who this person is? Okay. So do you know what this represents? So he has a famous saying, be like water. Have you heard of this term? Okay, awesome. You guys are smarter than I am, because I found out this like 15 years ago. So you guys are ahead of for sure. So what does that mean? You have to be adapting to situation. Water adapts to different situations. You have to flow through the crevices. You get stuck. You have to move around, and you can't be fixed in your approach. And that is something that, if you remember this picture, that will be very useful for you. Right? Forget about what I said, but if you remember this picture, it's going to be super useful, super important for all of you. Right? Okay. Second thing is, how do you stay relevant? So again, you might have done I did metallurgy. I found very soon that metallurgy was not really what was going to give me a job in US. Imagine I leave a nice job at L&T. I go to US, get my PhD, do a postdoc, and then find I don't have it. I can't find a job because the industry has shifted. They're gone to something different. So now, basically, it was like I was going to get irrelevant. Fortunately, when I was doing my postdoc and a PhD, I actually acquired a lot of different skills that helped me find a job in a very different industry. So the couple of things here is like, how do you do that? You have to keep imagining the future. Hey, what's happening next? What is going to be happening 5 years from now, 10 years from now? How are you going to prepare for that? It's super critical. Retool. You have to acquire new skills. You think you are done MBA, you finish MBA with flying colors and you are done? That's not it. It is not relevant to anybody, right? Unless you actually can add value to them, right? So think about how are you going to retool, constantly learn, and adapt and such. This is probably something that you probably will forget about, but this really means the focus on you and your well-being. It's physical, mental, spiritual, right? Because you're going to go through all these ups and downs, and you cannot really say, okay, I'm going to go the same course, I'm going to drive the same way. You have to figure out how you're going to be energetic, physically fit, so that you can actually put the energies and effort in retooling yourself and such. A couple more other things here, re-engineering approaches that you're probably going to pursue, invest in yourself. That's what it really means. Reinvent, you are inventing yourself in terms of what is your liking, what's your passion as well, right? And recalibrate. This is something that probably you will not focus so much on, but you probably will hear this in your schoolwork, coursework possibly. Sorry, school, actually in US, school is college. So sorry, I use schoolwork, but it's college work. But look at what your values are. Can you sleep at night? Suppose you work in industry 5 years from now. Can you go to bed peacefully? Do you have clear conscience? Those things actually are important. So having a spiritual background is super important too. So make sure that you're calibrating yourself often enough. Am I doing the right thing? What is bothering me? And I think those things actually we kind of ignore, but they are super, super critical, right? And I'm looking at the time, but I don't know how much time we have. I mean, it's 5 minutes. So be opportunistic, So I want to kind of flash through these things. I got thrown into different industries, but not by accident. I tried different things. I did a non-invasive glucose monitor back there, the second from the left, systems for optical testing, optical networking gear, Microsoft Surface devices, and the VR headset, and these AR glasses, right? So point is, you will see a lot of opportunities, and you have to seek, and you have to basically grab them, right? It's not going to come to you, typically. Now, let us have some quick puzzle. What's common between them, you think? List 3 or 4 common things. Come on, you should know about them, right? They're very famous. You know, I think most of you know all of them. They're very rich. They're very brilliant people, visionary people, right? But they also have something very common in them. What are they talking about? Next computer, the flop that Steve Jobs had. Bill Gates came up with a tablet PC. It was a big flop. Steve Ballmer, and I have been in some rooms with him sometimes for some presentations. He actually had a biggest failure in Microsoft history, about $10 billion write-off because of the phone. They bought Nokia, and basically they kind of messed it up. And then Mr. Jeff Bezos with the Fire phone that you never heard of, right? These are the biggest flops. Do you any of you know that for these failures? You don't. Okay, so my message here is that failures are very, very common. It will happen every day. And I also want to kind of give some suggestion to the parents here. I see quite a few parents. Make sure that if your kids or your daughter, son are kind of not doing well, it's okay. Okay, as long as they have the best intention, they have the best things in mind, and they're working hard, they'll be fine, right? Because failures, you should not measure people by 1 or 2 failures, right? Now, if you're constantly failing, there's something wrong. But we're not talking about all the bright people here in that manner, right? So again, I think they're the same some companies I kind of flash through quickly, where actually, sorry. I wanted to make one disclaimer here. You see a lot of Microsoft names, okay? And I was working at Microsoft for 15 years, but I did not work on any of those products, okay? So no, I don't want to take any claims from on this. So basically, failures, actually, you learn a lot. So this is some pictorial I saw that, you'll learn from theory, you will learn a lot. But I think Dr. Maitri said that you also do a lot of internships, you learn from industry stalwarts, you're going to learn from practice. But when you do it and you fail, you learn the most. So make sure that you are not afraid of failing. Right? Try it out. It's okay to fail. It's only you that is going to know that it's failed, but you're going to learn something key from that, right? Embrace failure, right? That's how basically you learn and grow. And how do you grow? There's something called, you must have heard growth mindset, right? So growth mindset means you do not know enough. In fact, I had that epiphany, or actually not epiphany, I had the realization. Because when I went to Microsoft, I thought I was a hotshot PhD guy, I knew about hardware, blah, blah, blah. And people told me, we do something called 360 feedback, and people told me they don't like to work with me. It's like, why? Why? I'm solving all the problems. I'm the smartest guy. I can figure out anything on the hardware side. And they said, no, your attitude sucks. You're very, very arrogant. You are not a team player. You get defensive. Until then, I thought I was the best manager, best leader, best so-and-so. That brought me back to ground. And that was the real learning for me. When I realized I don't know enough about these areas, and I need to kind of arm myself and improve there. Until then, I was like an individual contributor, like a regular engineer. After a couple of years, after I made some changes, actually, they put me on a management track. Then I was a senior director in about 5 years after that. But basically, that started with this growth mindset, learning about what I don't know. I don't have enough knowledge, awareness about things, and how I'm going to basically use to that my advantage. I think somebody mentioned about networking. You have 360 folks here. Try to develop the network with them. Some of them will be running next Microsoft, next Meta. And it's good to have people who are that powerful, that famous as well, right? You can also claim that, hey, he was my classmate and he was not that smart, right? So, but networking is super important. Also, don't forget about your faculty. I think I heard most of the faculty members are very seasoned industry veterans and experts, and leverage them. Leverage people on LinkedIn. I mean, if you come to me and say, hey, I need some guidance, I'll be more than happy to give you guidance, right? So network is important. It's going to be key to growth long-term. And also find a mentor. As we discussed, life is very uncertain, ambiguous, ups and downs, full of ups and downs. And you need some mentor. And if you don't have one, I would recommend find out in the next 1 month, right? And find out people from around you, from your faculty to help you mentor as well. Anyway, those are a couple of nuggets I wanted to share with you. I hope you enjoyed this, but wish you all the best. And hopefully you will do wonderful things in life. And hopefully I can work for one of your companies, okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences with us. It is with great honor that I now introduce our chief guest, Mr. Kamal Bali, a distinguished leader whose remarkable journey began at IIT Roorkee with a degree in electrical engineering. With a stellar career path that includes pivotal roles as CEO and director at Escorts Limited and president and CEO of Libor India Private Limited, Kamal Bali sir has exemplified strategic prowess and innovation in the automotive and construction industries. He is currently the president and managing director at Volvo Group India. Sir, we are very eager to hear from you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Dr. Maitri, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk to such a wonderful audience, the future leaders of India. So very grateful for this opportunity. Friends, I think Rajesh has already talked a lot of stuff which I wanted to talk. So he's made my job a lot easy. So it's good to have opening batsman before you so that you can have to bat much lesser. So which is good. But I just want to, today is a day which reminds me of 1st July 1977, exactly almost 48 years ago, when it was my first day at IIT Roorkee. There were a number of emotions of nervousness. I'm sure. Some of you, are you nervous? Yes or no? Okay, not many. So much more confident India than what was during our time. So that's a good sign. So emotions of nervousness, joy, happiness, ambitions, and I think a feeling of that you probably scaled a peak. You know, that's something which, because when you enter an institution of the profile of IIM Nagpur, you have the right to feel so. You worked hard. And so therefore, my heartiest congratulations to each one of you here in this room, along with your proud parents. Parents can also give themselves a big hand because you have actually done very good. But when I graduated in 1981, 4 years later, the world was a very steady, very boring world. It was moving at a snail's pace. Nothing was happening. I was told I got selected on campus interview both at Eicher and Telco, Tata Motors that time, used to be called Telco. So people told me, I said, I had no mentors. I said, which company should I join? They said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be in marketing. They said, then in case you want to be in marketing, don't join Tata Motors, because there is a wait list of 8 years on a truck. You will learn nothing in Tata Motors because you will be only rationing trucks, I'm talking of 1981. It used to take 8 years to get a truck, 6 years to buy a Bajaj scooter. So therefore they said, Eicher is a good upcoming company. You will learn a lot there. You will have to really struggle and do all of that. New brand. I said, okay. That's how I joined. But you are joining a world which is completely different. You are actually coming into a world which is going through a once in a lifetime transformation. I think Rajesh has alluded to some of those, but I want to sensitize you guys today on what are the shifts and what are the things which are happening in this world and what will keep you ahead. That's what I'm going to attempt over the next 20-25 minutes. I'm not going to keep you between your dinner and my speech here. So I'll keep it as short as it can get, but lots to talk to you guys. Let me start with the... Is it moving? It's not moving. Just give me a minute. Does it work? Okay. So I think we are living in a world which has many changes which are happening across. If you look at the world around you, the whole world is in a mess. You look at right from United States of America, from where my friend Rajesh has come, it's in a mess. It's in a mess. It is in a mess which not seen in many years. You'll see the level of leadership in United States of America. You have Mr. Biden versus Mr. Trump. I mean, that's the level of leadership there. For a country which is as the most advanced and the most innovative country. So there's a huge leadership crisis happening. There is a crisis in Middle East. There's a war between Israel and of course the Palestine, and then of course there are also Ukraine and Russian wars. There is a Cold War between two largest economies, between US and China. So I think the world is full of distrust. There's a lack of trust. So I think that's a huge challenge. And you will be very proud to know that it is in this environment that India is in spotlight. You are the rock stars in the world today. I've been working for multinational companies for the last 20-25 years. The kind of welcome which I get now when I travel to Europe, I've never got before. Because the world there's a huge amount of trust deficit, and they feel India is filling that spot. And we will talk about that a little more. So therefore, you're born at the right time. And I think you're going to be the leaders who to take the India flag flying high. And why I say there are many opportunities. So if you look around the world, I talked about the wars. There are growing inequities. The poor are getting poorer across the world. It's not a very happy situation. There's a huge digital divide happening. There's a lot of economic divide happening. So there's a huge amount of challenges there. If you look at the world, there are also, the growth is very slow. There are high interest rates, high inflation all across the world. So there are huge number of challenges across the world, and therefore India offers a great opportunity. So you guys are very lucky to be born at the right time and in the right place. And I think we all can really. So if I were to really identify some of the challenges, which are very quickly, I'm going to request Dr. Maitri to come and take a half-a-day session with you guys on some of these topics. But yes, I will just like to tell you how out of each challenge, what are the kind of opportunities which are there, The first is geopolitical stress. So what can we do? We can look at a much larger share of global value chain. Today, India is looking at a much larger, almost $4 trillion of manufacturing is shifting from existing areas into new areas. $4 trillion of manufacturing. Before COVID, China had almost 29% of share of global manufacturing. And United States of America had another 17-18%. So between these two blocks, United States of America and China, almost 47% of manufacturing used to happen. India was just contributing 3% in the whole thing. This is likely to shift dramatically. And a lot of investments have happened over the last 3 to 4 years, but in manufacturing, it takes time for manufacturing investments to fructify into products. So you will see a lot happening. So that's a huge opportunity which is happening. This new global value chains, and government is doing a lot of stuff to really ensure that. But key is, how can we build trust and our capabilities? And you are the guys who will be doing that. The second is, of course, air quality. Deteriorating air quality, another challenge. I'm just picking up a few challenges. There are many. So what do? Your opportunity to bring low emission technologies and solutions, new mobility ecosystem. You can get into better urban planning. And I think non-fossil fuel engines can come in. A lot of opportunities are there in the offing thanks to that. The third thing is depleting resources. The resources, we as a human race, we are already acquiring more than 40% of the natural resources which the planet is supposed to give us. We are already drawing 40% more than what we should be. We're taking away from our grandchildren and future generations quota. So what can you do? I think the 9R approach. What is that 9R principle which you will learn? Recycle, repurpose, reuse, repair, remanufacture, refurbish, recover, reduce, refuse. So those are the strategies that you have to employ, which we will talk more in detail at a particular session, which Dr. Maitri, we must have one with the students so we can talk on some of these. Then, of course, many more. Of course, climate change. We need to have green energy transition, battery electric vehicles, fuel cells, IC engines with hydrogen as a fuel, with clean fuels, net zero value chains. All of these are going to be the opportunities to really tackle those challenges. Black swan events. I mean, COVID was not the first and the last one. You will have events happening, those blocks from the thunder from time to time. How do we really prepare for those? And I think Rajesh alluded to something very, very clearly, that adaptability. How do you adapt to new situations? I think you need to be adaptable, you need to be flexible, you need to be fleet-footed, you need to be very, very quick on your feet. This is the way it's going to be. You need to be flexible. When we were taught in engineering in 1977-78, we were taught build to last. Today, that is not at all the right advice. It should be built to adapt. So whatever you build, it should be adaptable, because the use cases are going to change very, very quickly. So build to adapt is going to be the way. Rapid urbanization. What can we do? Focus on urban planning, because otherwise our cities are going to become mess. Because huge urbanization is going to happen until we plan our cities for the future. These are, boys and girls, these are challenges for you, or not my challenges. You are going to be the leaders in the coming 20 years, and you are going to solve some of these huge challenges which are coming up. And of course, I can go on and on. Digital disruptions, AI. I think I don't need to talk about this. You all know what all new techniques and tools are coming. Automation, Industry 5.0, additive manufacturing. AI is going to be, generative AI is going to be your biggest tool in your hand. Support. Rising aspirations and inequities. Huge. This is something to worry about. We all have to move together. You can't leave one section of the society behind. Digital divide, stress in social fabric. How do we upskill and skill new youngsters who are not capable of coming to IIM Nagpur and others? How can we skill them for some other jobs? I think it's very, very important, because you need to take everybody together, and that's going to be very, very important. Social inclusion, whether it is gender, race, ethnicity, or economic background they come from, very critical. And then finally, how do we take the expressive young India together with us? How do we really give them opportunities to really? I think so. These are some of the challenges I want to leave behind for some of you to really understand. But clearly, we are at a point where data is the new fuel. You know that. And holistic systems approach, and I'm going to talk to you about this a little later. It's going to be very, very important. But all said and done, you are at in a world which is highly transformative. It is something like what happened 140 years ago when a new automobile when the first automobile was launched. That's the level of excitement. That is the level of excitement and shift which is happening. So I'm trying to really tell you the nature of this shift. The nature of this shift is the first time when a car was developed for the first time versus today. This is the level. It's very, very similar because the shift is so huge. So therefore, in short, what I have to say that the good news is you are at the right place at the right time with the right people. So you're in IIM Nagpur at the right place. You're in India at the right time. When the whole world around is in a feeling of distrust, and they feel India is one area which can provide a lot of support and a lot of capability, because 20% of 1 out of 5 individuals in the working class will be an Indian by 2040. 1 out of 5 people working in the system all across the world will be an Indian as per the current demographics and the way that we are skilling our people, the way we are educating. So clearly it is India's decade. And why I say it's India decade, it's not only because of our economic performance. It is not because we are growing at 8, we have grown by 8.2%, highest across the world. But it is because that the number of good things which are happening. For instance, our reforms on the social reforms are happening big time. The infrastructure support which is happening in a very, very big way. This slide shows you some of the major shifts captured over the last 10 years. If you look at direct benefit transfer, this is the money which government sends directly into the accounts of vulnerable and poor people. It used to be $1 billion in 2013. It is now $32 billion. That's the level. If you look at the digital transaction as a percentage of GDP, we are the largest in the world. The largest number of digital transactions which happen in the world are in India. We account for almost 46% of all digital transactions in the world. Now this is almost 76% of our GDP. Electrified railways used to be about only 4,000 kilometers, balance for only diesel. Today it is about 28,000 kilometers of railways which are running on electricity. You look at corporate tax rates, we are amongst the lowest in the world today. From 34%, we are at 22% corporate tax rate. It is to invite. So these are all very good situation. Highways, we used to be only 25,000 kilometers. We are at 54,000 kilometers. GST collections, tax collections, just one example of indirect collections where the world is really finding it difficult to collect more tax. India is collecting 2.5x, 2.5 times the tax in the last 5 years. Our GST is growing every month, and even our direct taxes are going very, very high. Corporate debt has reduced from 62% to 50%. So all these are pointers that while the world is going in the southern direction, we are going in the northern direction. Very, very good. And this is thanks to a number of things which are happening. World-class roads, 38 kilometers per day. National Logistics Mission, $1.4 trillion being used in infrastructure development. And we don't talk about it. This is more than what United States of America would spend in the last 4 years, which we have spent on our infrastructure. Okay. And also national monetization pipeline. Many times we get cynical about our own country, because because of our aspirations and backlog is very, very high. Because of that, we always tend to feel cynical. So it should be the other way. National Gati Shakti plan. So number of schemes which are happening. And of course, I already talked about the talent. I talked about the startup ecosystem. But I think very, very clearly, the question is whether India will grow or not. That is not the question to my mind. The question is whether will it be sustainable? Can we take everybody together? Can we do this? I think that is something very, very important. So therefore, if I were to look forward very, very clearly, I think 5 or 6 mega trends, which I have already talked about. Number one, uncertainty is the reality. How do we really tackle this? Very, very clear. Why I say this? Because there are multiple pathways to go to a particular point. So which pathway you choose ultimately is going to be very, very critical in the decision-making point. So therefore, very, very clearly, adaptability and flexibility is going to be the name of the game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I want you to really focus on this slide. It's very, very important because second, increasing demand on holistic sustainability. And this is very critical because we talk about it. This used to be part of every PowerPoint presentation, sustainability as a tick box, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. But today it is becoming a reality. If you do not tick the 4 boxes on sustainability, you may have the best product in the world, you may have the best idea in the world, but your story will not really sell anymore. Because what does this mean? This means that whatever you do, A, has to be economically viable. B, it has to be socially inclusive. C, it has to be environmentally friendly. And D, it has to be morally ethical. If you do not tick any of these 4 boxes, which is economically viable, which is more efficient, obviously, it's expected for all of us, socially inclusive, gender, ethnicity, all of that included. You can't just work for one section of society. 3, it has to be friendly to the environment. And 4, it has to be morally ethical. If you don't tick these 4 boxes, it's finished. You cannot have a great story going forward because organizations are becoming akin to human beings. People look at what kind of, today, when I see employees, they ask a number of things about the organization. Salary is not the only thing. They say, oh, what is your commitment to environment? What is your commitment to waste and landfill? What is your strategy? So I think number of things are being asked, which is a good sign. The third is emerging technologies, which you all know, very disruptive technologies. For instance, in my own industry, which is automotive industry, by 2040, we have taken a pledge that we will not have a single vehicle which runs on fossil fuel, which means we will be net zero by 2040. Imagine a company an organization or a sector which contributes maximum to air pollution. We are taking a commitment of net zero emissions. So I think that's the shift which is happening big time. So how will it happen? It will happen through fossil-free fuels, automation, new transport concepts, connectivity, new business models. My customer, okay, I'll come to that next one. Yeah, of course, then the next one is, of course, paradigm shift in manufacturing. This is happening in India mainly, which is basically a huge amount of manufacturing shifting from other geographies. So therefore, lots of you leaders have to also come to companies like the Volvos of the world, automotive companies, manufacturing companies. All of you don't have to join Meta, okay? Some of you have to come to manufacturing. Manufacturing sector is going to be the key, and I think it has a multi-fold impact on employment and everything. Accelerated innovation, I think very, very critical. And this is where the startup ecosystem, the mushrooming of startups is actually helps in a very, very big way. So today, companies like ours, we have a company within company. In our company, we call it Campex, where we work with startups. We call it company within company because our companies are complex. So if a startup comes to us, he will be drowned in our bureaucracy. So we don't want him to. So we have this startup who we throw up challenges to them. We provide them all the support and we help them to really incubate and really scale up. We also give them market connect. We also tell them our problems, our challenges, what we. So a lot of these things are happening. And why we want startups? Because they can think quickly on their feet. They can do things quickly. What we will do in 5 years, they will probably do in 5 months. So that's the way, and we give them all the support, which they don't have, whether it is go-to-market support, whether it is mentoring, whether it is financial, whether it is other resources, whichever they need. So that's something very, very important which is happening. Therefore, companies will have to learn to work with startups. Large companies will have to throw away their egos and arrogance to learn to work with startups in a better way. The next one is very interesting one, and I think I love this one the most. Customers do not want products anymore. They do not want products. They don't want services. They want solutions. And there is no one single company which can provide a 360-degree solution to the customer. Therefore, the era of collaboration and partnership will start. You will start working on networks. Your HR principles will have to be redefined, because you will not have an organization structure where this is your own organization. You will have to probably work with 3 other organizations on a network basis to be able to give the 360-degree solution to the customer. So I think that's something very important. Regulations are going to change big time. Regulatory framework will have to follow all of this. And finally, employee-centric organizations. I think organizations have to throw a lot of stuff from the HR department into the dustbin. So all the old SOPs which HR department has, the leave rules, the working time rules, a lot of other stuff will have to go into the dustbin. We will have to really redefine the way we want to work with our youngsters. So I think that's another big shift which organizations are seeing. New competencies will need to be looked at. So there's a huge amount of shift which is happening, ladies and gentlemen, and I think you guys got to be ready. And therefore, let me quickly now come to my concluding slides. Clearly, it's you, the leaders, who will manage this huge transition. And therefore, let me just quickly come to a few leadership traits which you will have to demonstrate. And I think leadership tomorrow is not merely about motivating and inspiring people. It is actually about, it's not also about change. It's about transformation, and it's about harnessing the opportunities. I think that's going to be the leadership of the future. So if I were to ask you what are few notes which you need to make on your leadership journey, I think number one, you all need to have a higher purpose. Like every organization you join has a higher purpose. What is it that we want to achieve? We want to achieve sustainable mobility for the world. Sustainable mobility which is harmless, which doesn't harm anyone, which connects people to go from point A to point B. IKEA, for instance, wants to bring stuff for the many. They want to give it, they say, we want to do things for the many people. So that's the way they mean, for the many. So likewise, each one of you has a vision, has an ambition, which because that's very important to lead people, because people are in a flux today. They are confused. There are ideological challenges. There are technological challenges. There are other socio-economic conflicts in their mind. How do you guide them? You guide them with a purpose. If there is a purpose, everybody will get galvanized towards that purpose. That's very important. Second, trust will be your number one asset. And as I said in the beginning, trust is a currency which is in short supply. And that's a currency which you can actually grab. India has the best opportunity. And the good news is that the starting line for the entire world is being redrawn. You are not 50, 60, 100 years behind. That's your really mantra of winning. You need collaboration, and collaboration happens if there is trust. And how does trust happen? If you're transparent. If I don't hide things when I'm doing, I share openly with you everything, you will start trusting. If the moment you come into my room, I hide my laptop and I do like this, as if I'm doing something secret, then you lose trust in me. You don't have trust in me. So, and remember, 95% of the stuff what we do, each one of us, is not confidential. It can be shared. It's only 5% of the stuff which can be very privy to each one of us or to our officers. So I think that's another very important thing which I thought I wanted to share with you. And then, of course, passion and reasoned ambition. Very important. See, there is passion is like the fire. There is an ambition. there's a trust level, but now you also need the engine to be fired. The passion fires that ambition. So that's very, very important. Passion, where you have that fire in the belly, so to say, so that is something which drives you further. And of course, I have already talked about where the sustainability lens all the time. The four points in sustainability: economically viable, environmentally friendly, socially inclusive, morally ethical. That lens you always have to wear, because if you do not tick any of those boxes, you may be offering the best product or service, it will not sell at all. Social capital and inclusion, very, very important. No individual can work alone anymore. COVID is an acute reminder to each one of us how individuals, society, business, economy, and our planet we are all intertwined. We are all intertwined. You cannot have a great holiday in life if rest of the world is suffering. So I think it's very, very critical to take everybody together. And these are new lessons in leadership. I can tell you these were not lessons during our time. During our time, the idea was to just make money, have the best product and sell it. Don't worry about planet. Don't worry about anything. I'm being very honest to you guys. The world is changing very, very quickly. So you need a very different lens to be worn. I'm sorry if I'm scaring you guys, but I think you guys have lots on your shoulders as a responsibility to take forward. The next one is, of course, number 6, take responsibility of staying optimistic. And this, to my mind, is very, very important. Optimism is half the battle won. You have, nobody wants to, and optimism is very infectious. It spreads very fast. I mean, it's looking at the glass half full versus half empty. Who would you want to go with? You don't want to go with a leader who's showing you that the chances of failure are very high. You will not make it, versus a leader who shows you this is the way, this is the path, let's do it. I'm sure we will do it. I think optimism is very, very important. And in this, you have to really avoid the company of, there are some people who are always generally doom and gloom promoters who will just talk of doom and gloom, negative. Avoid such company too much. I'm not saying that they are bad people, but they can pull you down in your journey as leaders. You need to be positive. And leadership is all about positivism. Don't worry all the time to become Bill Gates or someone. Look at small victories, small I call it small I, small innovation, small victories, small breakthroughs. Be kind to yourself. You don't have to be making big flashes all the time. You can be doing pretty well even if you do small victories. Take each day as it comes, set realistic standards. Every small victory is the fuel for next time, and celebrate every small good thing which you do together. And of course, number 8, culture, collaboration, and innovation. We have talked about a lot, and I think key factors of success are transparency, trust, collaboration, innovation. And I think that culture, that you need to build that culture. Remember, in any organization, there are 2 steering systems. One is the organization structure, one is the organization culture. Something goes wrong, people typically used to play with the structure. Change this guy, change this organization structure, everything will get fixed. And after 2-3 years, same thing will get repeated, which you didn't want, right? So therefore, you need to change the culture. You need to really sow some different seeds to get some different fruits. So I think that's something very important. So culture is very, very critical going forward. And the job of leaders is to really build that culture, And therefore, a lot of what I've said today, you will realize that a lot of this stuff is not taught in engineering colleges. I think you will have to really learn here and learn as you rub shoulders with many of your other colleagues and people across the country when you go. And finally, it is your behavior critical moments that will define you. So I think in normal times, everybody behaves very well. It's during critical times when the push comes to shove. That is a time when your leadership strengths are going to be seen. And then finally, be a lifelong learner. Please go back to school as often as you can. The day we say that we know everything, that is the end, or I would say that is the end of leadership. That's the end of the organization which you, and as Rajesh shared in the beginning, many of the companies have faded into nowhere. So I think arrogance and lack of learning, these are two major challenges which remain humble. I think that's something that is a very, very important. Learn from others, teach others, and I think that's, to me, the thing. Finally, the mantra is partnership. My definition of new leadership is partnership. Partnership is the new leadership. To my mind, if you can partner, and in management schools, we were all obsessed with the term competition. And I think going forward, you will need to get obsessed with the word collaboration. From competition to collaboration. You will still compete, but I think you will collaborate more than you compete. And that's going to be the new name of the game. And that's where really your tact, your statesmanship is going to be the key. In conclusion, there are boundless opportunities, boys and girls, waiting for you. You're living in a very, very transformative world. Move ahead with passion and purpose, and do it with empathy, care, courage, and optimism. I called it ECO, ECCO, ECO. Not the echo of the heart, but echo of the mind and eco. And for the sake of people, planet, and yourself. And I believe that together we can shape the world which we want to live in. Thank you, and wish you very, very.
Thank you so much, sir. Your words will surely be the guiding light for all of us in our careers. Now, I would like to request our director, sir, to felicitate the students on the director's merit list. These are the students of IIM Nagpur batch 2023-25 who have remained in the top 5% of the batch throughout the year. So, we request you to kindly present the students the certificates. First, we have Anand Sangwan. Next up, we have Swati Singh. Praful Negi. Janvi Taude. Himanshu Rajesh Bhai Mehta. Nambi Narayanan. Tanmay Reddish. Darsh Shah. Preeti G. Riya Srivastava. Anant Jain. Preetam Ghosh Adhikari. D. Lakshmi Bhavna. Saket Lankar.
Now it's time to felicitate the merit list students for the MBA batch 2023-2025. The merit list consists of students who have secured highest marks in their particular divisions in the 3 terms. From term 1, section A, we have Kriti Gupta. Section B, Archit Goswami. Section C, Praful Negi. Section D, Nambi Narayanan. From term 2, section A, we have Swati Singh. Section B, Saket Lankar. Section C, Anand Sangwan. Section D, Janvi Tawde. From term 3, section A, we have Swati Singh. Section B, Tanmay Reddy. Section C, Anand Sangwan. Section D, Preetam Ghosh Adhikari.
Now, I would like to request Director Sir and Dr. Rajesh Dighde, Sir, to present the certificates to the scholarship students. These scholarships are 100% scholarships. The names under merit scholarship are Manikant, Sonali Chandrakant Sargar, Tanmay Reddy, Karan Phalani, Praful Negi, Nambi Narayanan, Rishabh Bhatt, Yash Kasat, Raghav Jha,
Hayendwi God Kaki. Lovely Dubey. Pragyan Raj. Prerna Samantha. Madhura Mohan Shinde. Mayank. Piyush Baria. Momita Paul.
These are the scholarships that Institute has instituted, and total 20 scholarships, that is 100% fee. And I'm happy to announce the director sir has just told, this year we would be increasing one more scholarship. So the coming batch will get 21 scholarships.
Now, I would like to call upon stage Chairperson Students Affairs, Professor Ranjita, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening. So I take this opportunity and it's my privilege to deliver the vote of thanks. There is always light if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. And I'm sure IIM Nagpur has been a testimony with this year, the 10th batch, the 10th year, looking at the batch we have for this year. Great congratulations to all of you on behalf of the entire team IIM Nagpur. And I would firstly thank Dr. Rajesh Dighde for fueling the dreams of future of India by showing us the future of business. So thank you so much for the wonderful insights which you have given us. And I'm sure students have taken all those words of wisdom and fueled their dreams forward. And I thank Mr. Kamal Bali. Sir, your words were as futuristic, but at the same time, you asked us to be rooted to where we are from. So thank you for making the future of India hopeful, at the same time grounded. And nothing more than, or say beyond, the leadership of our director, Professor Maitre. Sir, we thank you from the bottom of the heart for keeping us going, come what may, come whatever the challenges are. You have kept us guiding. So thank you so much for being that visionary for all of us. And the biggest thank you to both the Dean, Professor Prashant Gupta and Professor Prakash, who has sailed through the entire process. And deepest and sincere gratitude to Professor Rakesh Gupta, the admissions chair, and his team, Professor Magesh, Professor Ankita, and the entire admissions team, Apeksha and her team. And not the least, the entire staff and administration of IIM Nagpur this year was a challenge, but they made it look like it's as easy as it was. Thank you so much for being there with all of us in this new journey, a challenging journey, but at the same time, a hopeful journey for all of us. And biggest thank you to my faculty members who are here. At every step, they have been a supportive and a very great guidance to all of us. And staff members and administrative staff, thank you so much for being there. And last but not the least, parents of the new batch and the students, you have chosen, as one of our chief guests was saying, the right place at the right time. And most importantly, the senior batch who stood by us in all stages of this whole process of new batch. I thank you one and all, and I look forward to a great year ahead with the new batch, the 10th batch at the 10th year of IIM Nagpur. Thank you so much.
Thank you all for joining us. Kindly proceed for the high tea.